Hello, thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. I am Hoyt. Some of the stories that we are following here at noon. Anger rising among passengers as Southwest Airlines announces yet another day of many flight cancellations. Where things stand right now, that's coming up in just 2 minutes. It's game day in Memphis. T311 has everything you need to make sure you are ready for when the Razorbacks take on the Kansas Jayhawks in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl over across the river. That's coming up today at 4:30. And then tonight is the night that another class of performers will be honored for their contributions to American culture. It's the Kennedy Center Honors Gala. We'll have all those details on tonight's entertainment headlines. That is just a few minutes away. But let's get a check of our weather forecast. Scott Colbert back with us here at this noon hour. Scott, how's it looking out there?
It's looking beautiful outside, Rolly. In fact, behind you, a beautiful blue sky. We're enjoying that all across Arkansas here this afternoon. And finally, we're thawing out. Temperatures have really warmed up nicely. Dare I say it feels pleasant outside. 59 currently in Little Rock and Pine Bluff, already in the 60s in Camden and Monticello. Looks like we'll probably see that mercury climb a few more degrees. 62 for an afternoon high temperature for today. It all kind of depends on when those clouds arrive. We are expecting it to become eventually cloudy by later this evening. And those clouds all in advance of our next weather system that does bring not just one, but multiple rounds of rain, which at times could be heavy and then at times have some embedded strong, maybe even severe thunderstorms. I've got an update on that, as well as the latest timing on how some of these showers could or could not impact those New Year's Eve festivities. A lot to talk about, a very active weather pattern. I'll break it all down coming up in a few moments.
Scott, thank you. Well, the tagline in their commercials asks, "Want to get away?" At this point, if you said that to many of the travelers stranded by Southwest, you might get something thrown at you. The airline canceled more flights overnight after parking 2,600 yesterday. That's 2/3 of its scheduled routes. As Tanya Rivero reports, other carriers are a lot farther along, bouncing back from the frigid Christmas weekend.
It's just been chaos.
Everything's canceled and we can't get through the Southwest.
Multiple cancellations, a night in the airport, a Christmas Eve in a random hotel.
The winter storm caused thousands of cancellations across airlines. But Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg says Southwest's unique inability to recover goes beyond the storm's ripple effects.
Because what we're seeing right now, from the system and the flights themselves to the inability to reach anybody on a customer service phone line, is just completely unacceptable.
In his first public comments since the meltdown, Southwest CEO Bob Jordan apologized and blamed the weather for the disruptions.
We're the largest airline in 23 of the top 25 travel markets in the U.S. Cities where large numbers of scheduled flights simultaneously froze as record bitter cold brought challenges for all airlines.
This storm was forecast for 5 days. Everyone knew, even those not affiliated with airlines knew what was coming and was preparing. Southwest wasn't.
Captain Casey Murray is the president of the Southwest Airlines Pilot Association.
The scheduling software which is a large part of the problem. Southwest can't connect airplanes to crews.
In his statement, Jordan did acknowledge it was time to double down on plans to upgrade its systems for these kinds of circumstances.
Southwest should have been a little bit more prepared for this, and they weren't.
But while the airline tries to reset now, thousands of passengers are still trying to find their way out of the travel mess.
I was traveling to be with an ill family member.
Kimberly Day is pregnant and traveling with her 2 children. They've been trying to get from Phoenix to New York to visit a sick relative. On Tuesday, Southwest told them it cannot rebook their flight until Saturday.
I'm just devastated on so many different levels, but we're trying to keep positive, but it's hard.
For those stranded right now, here are some tips to help. Most airlines will try to book you on the next available flight, but that doesn't mean they will check other carriers. You are entitled to a full refund, including seat and baggage fees, even if you purchased a non-refundable ticket. And finally, try to look for flights that leave in the morning or at night. Those tend to be the most reliable. Tanya Rivero, CBS News, New York.
All right, let's get to a THV 11 news update. Water problems are improving in Hot Springs after last weekend's cold and thaw led to pipes bursting and water leaks, depleting the city's supply. The Spa City faces a unique challenge because a lot of homes are rentals down along the lakes, and out-of-towners might not realize they've got a leak. City Manager Bill Burrows says the water department is working around the clock to fix any of those leaks.
When there's a burst and you have free-flowing water and you have several hundred of those, the tanks actually deplete faster than we can fill them. So we're fortunate in the evenings we've been able to catch up because most people are asleep.
Right now, the race is to avoid losing water pressures. They're asking people to limit their use as they work to keep up with the demand. Meanwhile, the water back on for almost everybody in Mayflower, but a boil order does remain in place. A city official told us yesterday that all parts of town should be back online by now. The latest word we got is that they are around 92% restored as we head into the afternoon. Mayflower's water tanks completely drained at one point over the weekend as everyone dripped their faucets like we told them to, and then undetected leaks created a huge demand. Down in Drew County, the people in the town of Wilmer are hoping their water crisis finally ends today. City workers shut off running water overnight to refill that city's water tower. It's a city located between Warren and Monticello. Yesterday, the mayor shared video of the National Guard delivering a water tanker to the local school for people to fill up jugs of drinking water. Like other cities, Wilmer's lost water on Christmas Day for bursting pipes and those leaks. And then the water problems continue in Memphis with the Liberty Bowl just hours away. Memphis dealing with low or no water pressure, but bowl officials say that the game will go on. They're putting more than 400 porta potties around the stadium all this morning. 80 hand sanitizer pumps are going to be placed near the restrooms in concession areas. Of course, Arkansas is set to play Kansas coming up at 4:30. So, with those water issues in the background, they all arrive as the Razorbacks arrive to take on Kansas in the Liberty Bowl this afternoon. It has not stopped fans from making the trek there. If you're late, you better get going. It hasn't stopped our crew from heading that direction. THV 11's Tyler Cass and Sierra Clark are right there for us now. What can we expect, guys, as they arrive? How's it going out there for you guys so far?
Yeah, Rolly, look, we're here outside the Liberty Bowl Stadium, still a few hours from kickoff, but fans have been filtering in. I've seen a good amount of Razorback tailgates already set up, easily more than 400 Razorback fans at least, and yeah, we have to admit a smattering of Jayhawk blue as well. As for what's going to actually happen on the field, well, it's been over a month since we've seen this Razorback team play, and when they actually get out there, it might look a little different, right, Sierra?
Yeah, and the Hogs have the opportunity to go 7-6 or 6-7 if they lose. It's funny, Arkansas and Kansas have similar spellings, but their records are even more identical as they're both 6-6. Arkansas also has had 16 players to either enter the transfer portal or opt out for the NFL draft. So it's going to be really interesting to see which players the Hogs really stand out tonight. Some young players I definitely expect to see play, and Coach Pittman is excited for his team to get out there.
Everybody that's here has been on our football team all year. So it's not a new team that we're going to run out there with. It's our team. And we're not making any excuses, none. We've got enough good players on our football team that we can go out and win a football game. And that's the expectation we have and the players have. But we're not new. We've all been on the football team all year. You're going to see a few faces that you're not familiar with.
And remember, the natural state became a state first, so it's Arkansas and Kansas coming your way, 4:30 on ESPN. Sarah and I will be back out here live at 5, 6, and 10 tonight to bring you all the score updates and highlights. For now, back to the studio and rolling.
Tyler, Sierra, thank you. It has been a trying time in the far southeast corner of the state as the city of Eudora deals with crime and water problems. The mayor there declaring a civil emergency and enforcing a curfew yesterday. The city's in Chico County near the border of Mississippi and Louisiana. Overnight, Mayor Tamika Butler went live on the city's Facebook page following a rash of recent shootings there, including a Christmas Eve incident that killed one person and injured another.
Our city has been recently plagued with senseless acts of violence, which has led me to declare a state of civil emergency curfew, effective immediately for all citizens between the hours of 8 p.m. and 6 a.m.
Now the mayor has scheduled a city hall meeting for tomorrow night at 6 to update everybody on this crime rave and talk about solutions. They also posted that warmer weather has relieved some of their concerns that they had before the weekend about the water system. A former Little Rock preschool assistant pleading guilty to making child pornography. It's an update to a story THV11's been covering for more than a year. Gus Schenker worked at Miss Selma's school in 2021 when the FBI arrested him while acting on a tip. Investigators found graphic videos of him with a preschool-aged child in a classroom. The FBI says he had more videos on his phone and more than 1,000 pictures. Schenker pleaded guilty to just 3 of the 22 counts of producing child porn. His sentencing date has yet to be set. All right, earlier this week, we told you about the ways to recycle your real Christmas tree. Today, we're going to share one more option that's actually great for nature. The small spaces and dense cover offered by a fresh Christmas tree make an excellent nursery habitat for small fish, as well as great places for us to go catch them. You can donate trees to Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, which has drop-off locations across the state. We've got a full list. It's available on the agfc.com website. Knee replacements have come a long way. How the latest tech advancements now allow mobility tracking. That's 5 minutes away.
Beautiful day across Arkansas. Temperatures have really warmed up. It gets even warmer tomorrow. Just how long can we expect to be in those 60s? I'll let you know that, as well as the latest forecast that does include decent chances of rain, not just once, but multiple times. That breakdown coming right up.